Well, hello guys, and welcome to this week's the new dailies on Gran Turismo Sport. As always, I'm just going to check to this week's which we do. That's beautiful. So yes, we've got the audio, and I'm getting a bit paranoid with that, but that's the way it is. Okay, let's check week's daily races. Last week's was interesting, especially with that. Cicada Death, the good old Dragon's Tower. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got one make at Circuit La Sarthe, so Le Mans, no chicane, it's going to be a long straight. Mitsubishi GT, I think they call it, their twin turbo GTO, GT, depending what part of the world you're in. One lap, I'm glad it's only one lap because that's going to be a long lap. So that's going to make this stream quite long because there's two really long tracks I'm noticing here. Okay, surprisingly, we've still got Dragon's Tail Gardens this time, so I don't think that's got the Death Chicane, so that's good. So the GR3s at the Gardens Trail, Gardens 2, 5 laps there, so that's going to be interesting. And why this week's because as we can see here, now I do love Nürburgring and I do love 2 laps here is going to be one. Now it's just going to be one of these ones where your fuel consumption is going to be an issue during the actual race. Let's have a look. Fuel consumption during final 2 times. I think fuel may be okay for the whole race. No time requirement, no minimum stops. Real fueling, so hopefully it's just going to be 2 laps around the Nürburgring without having to do a pit stop at the end of 1 lap or turn down your fuel to conserve your fuel. So, was that fixed tyres? I don't know, we'll have a look at that. Can't really tell. It's the information I find in Gran Turismo Sport sometimes can be a bit hard to get. Okay, so prepare. Well, I'm not going to race, but it's going to do qualifying light blue. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting this week's to be quite a long live stream checking out the 3 dailies, but I always do a lap, so this might be an interesting one. Now, I've never driven one of these cars, let's see what this one handles like. Don't go down the first end. Okay, let's turn that. First gear's really high geared, isn't it? Okay. And again, as I always say, I'm not trying to set the fastest times. I'll do that, away from close to them, because I find you have to concentrate really hard if you really want to get those lap times down. I got my lap times down at Dragon's Tail last week's dailies. I got it down to about a 1:37.1, which is still about a second or 2 off the fastest guys, but I was still pretty happy with that. Actually won a couple of races. Got taken out by some dirty driving too, unfortunately. But I've noticed dirty driving recently, it's been getting pretty bad, and until they bring back the contact penalties, people just use you as the brakes into corners. So, yeah. So this has got no chicane at all. So it's going to be one really long slipstreaming duel. I don't know how well this is going to go in the actual races, because you're going to have people coming down here But it's not a breakneck speed. It's lucky it's not the Group C's or something like that, because those down here would be absolutely crazy. I'm doing 250 and I'm nearly ready to go fifth gear still pick up. Yeah, it will. There we go. What do you reckon, about 270, but if I'm lucky down by the end of the straight. We're not even halfway around the track and we're about 2 minutes, so you're looking about probably a 4.5 minute, 5 minute lap, I'm guessing. It's only one lap race luckily, so we'll wait and see. So yeah, an interesting choice of races this week. The fact that, you know, this, again, I've not driven this car, I don't know what its braking performance is like. Well, see, second gear was way too low there, and first gear was like way too high, so that difference between second and first is going to make, yeah, you're going to have to stick in second around there, and it's really loses its revs. But yeah, it's going to cause, I'm not sure how many people will, I think if anyone races this race, it will just be filling in time in between, and unfortunately this week I had quite a few disconnects. When you're doing the daily race C, when it's only twice, well, really didn't do that well. Anyway, daily race C was only every half hour. When you get disconnected, you've got half an hour if you want to do that race again, so, and you've only, depending which one you miss, if you miss the, say, 8 o'clock one, wait to 8:30 so you can do the daily race B. But if you miss the 8:30, you can only do the daily race A if you want to fill in that time. I'll go and make yourself an ice cream and have an ice cream in between the races. We'll have a cold drink, beer. So you shouldn't really drink too much when driving. I've seen some people do some pretty silly things when drunk. Anyway, oh. Concentrating. Really handle the best, to be honest. Sorry if you can hear that noise on the steering wheel, it can be a bit loud. I'll probably get a penalty, so this lap won't count. That doesn't really matter. See, there we go. What's annoying is instead of just and what that will do, of course, it means that this lap's invalid. It also means your next lap's basically stuffed up as well, so you're going to have to do 3 laps until you can actually set a lap time now, or you just have to reset. You have to start again because you can't keep going, because this time won't count really that well too, because you got the penalty, you lost the lap beforehand. I really hope they sort out this whole qualifying thing with penalties. Just, if you stuff up your lap, lose that lap time. But the way this game does, you lose the lap time, but then it still gives you a time penalty for your next lap, so you've lost 2 laps. So all you can do is, of course, go that and retry. I'm not going to retry because I've done a lap. I'm not going to try and do another lap because that's already like 5 minutes for a lap, I think. 4.5, nearly 5 minutes. So yeah, so you're going to be, I think you're going to be down in the low 4s for those who know how to drive these cars. Okay, so that is the daily race. Hey, let's go to daily race B. Now, everyone loved the Supra for the qualifying, but I found the F1 VT was really good for the actual race, and I love this JPS, the black and gold colour scheme. So I'm going to use that for this. So how's your week been, everybody? All enjoying the new year? I know I am. So this is the second lot of dailies for 2022. So let's do some qualifying. So it's this way. I don't mind this track, thank God it's not hasn't got the version without the Death Chicane. It's different, basically a different track, even though it's still Dragon Tail. Oh, the steering wheel's noisy. It seems to be like whatever car is mostly. We had the GR4s at Daily Race B, and they've now moved up to Daily Race C. It's actually unusual to see the Group 3s in Daily Race Bs. I'm surprised they didn't do GT1s or GR1 or GR2s. So they have the GR3s as Daily Race B's interesting. I don't mind the track configurations this time. All three are ones that I like. I'm a huge fan of Nürburgring. It does bring out a lot of dirty driving though, so that's going to make it quite interesting. I'll probably use the 286 GR4 because I'm just really in tune with that car around Nürburgring. It's not the fastest down the straights, but it's, especially if it's a fuel conserving race, then when I used the GR4 last time it did pretty well. So this is Lap of Dragon. This is really the short race out of all three. So about low 130s is going to be the qualifying times for that. I'm not going to do another lap because we need to still do Nürburgring. Again, it's a great track, but 21. I'm almost going to be doing those two tracks together. Doing one lap is going to be the Nürburgring. So yeah, that's an interesting configuration. So how many laps was it there? That's 5 laps. 1 lap at Le Mans, 5 laps at the GR3s at that, and the GR4s. Okay, let's do some qualifying. Gonna use my Toyota 86 because I can. I just like it. I can't answer you, I'm afraid, if it's you're going to have to conserve your fuel because it doesn't do that during qualifying. ×2, I don't think it is, so hopefully it's just a 2-lap race around Nürburgring in the GR4s. I don't think this is the 124 hour. No, it's not. It's just the Nürburgring configuration. Hasn't got the old F1 track. I think. Wait a second. No, it doesn't. Makes the starts pretty interesting, I must admit. Turn those lights off. Don't need those lights on. I do have a question for you guys. What is it? Do you find the people that flash their lights at you all the time annoying? Some will flash their lights if they're upset with you. Someone will just do it all the time to try and distract you all the time. I love it when you see someone, they're just constantly flashing their lights and they lose control because they're pressing that button to flash their lights and they do it at the wrong point of the track. I had one person do that through the Death Chicane at Dragon's Tail, and he crashed it because he wasn't really concentrating on driving, he was pressing the flashing lights button, so that was pretty silly. Nürburgring is a track that I've done a lot of laps there. I just love this track. It's one of my dreams is to come to the Nürburgring and do a lap here in real life. There's a company called Apex. I follow their YouTube channel, and this guy, Misha, and his channel, and I can't grow tired of just watching them. I would just love to be doing what he's doing, working, living at Nürburgring. It would be like a dream come true. I would never get tired of doing a lap of this place. If you do a nice clean lap, you might not be the fastest out here, but if you just do a clean lap and you feel like that's about as good as I can do, it feels good because there's so many. I think there's over 125 or more corners around this track. Don't know exactly. And these things you should be doing about a 8-minute lap, maybe under. Can't really remember what my lap time is around here. Again, with these videos, I'm not trying to set my qualifying times while recording. I've got a lot of respect for those YouTubers that can talk and drive at the same time. Civic GT, Basic Ollie, Eries, you know, I follow all those guys. And so look at this, I've got way too hard there, hot, way too hot. So yeah, I've got a lot of respect for those guys, especially, no, Civic GT doesn't really do it live, I don't think, too much anymore. But Basic Ollie and Aries, they love doing a lot of live feeds and driving and recording yourself doing it at the same time. You know, those guys, they're good. Respect, respect. That's me hitting my chest, just in case. I do have a camera for the PS5. So I do run this on the PS5. Can't wait for Gran Turismo 7, mind you. That's day one. As soon as I can get it, I will get that. Probably digitally, because you can get it quicker. Wait till the shop's open otherwise. But yeah, I do have a camera. So once I I'm looking at rearranging my room here to make it more pleasing on the eye, so you don't see the mess behind me. But yeah, the Gran Turismo version of Nürburgring is pretty accurate. I must say, it's one of the better ones. The one on the Assetto Corsa, definitely probably the best, and I really hope they bring a version of this track, or bring this track to Assetto Corsa Competizione. Again, I can't wait for the PS5 version of that, which I get for free because I got the PS4 version. But it doesn't run that crash hot, and graphics a bit blocky. So waiting for the PS5 version of that, I'm looking forward to that. But I would love to see them do a version of this track, especially when they laser scan. So the version also on iRacing, and Assetto Corsa. They use laser scan versions of this track, and it's just that little bit more accurate. But Sony's version is not far off it, and it's a track that just about everybody wants to drive around. I think it's one of the most iconic tracks in the world. I'll be biased, I think also Bathurst here in Australia, Spa Championships, I love that. This track, Bathurst, you know, Le Mans, they've done a lot of your hero tracks around the world, so it's going to be interesting to see how the races go here. 2 laps. And definitely going to be interesting to see what's going to happen as in the races with fuel and tyre wear. They had it around here with the GR4s, and the fuel consumption was the same. It was almost, you were lucky to get a whole lap. If you really conserve your fuel, you could almost get the whole race, but I just found it distracted from the fun. So I think ×2 the fuel consumption should be fine. I can't confirm that for this video. I'm sure you guys will find out. But we're getting near the end. You get to this point and you're going, oh man, this is good. I've had some good races, but I've had a lot of races ruined at the end of the straight when the people behind you just dive bomb you. And with the new rules with this game not punishing you for rear-ending someone, having contact, unfortunately if you've got someone behind you who is like that, you're going to have to keep an eye out for them. And you get an idea of drivers who drive dirty like that, and I find myself being aware, and you look in the rearview mirror and you can see them, you can just tell they're going to dive bomb and you just give them space. I find that you do that and you move out of the way just the last moment. They've tried to dive bomb you, they've gone in too quick, then they crash. But there, going down that straight, going for those corners, going through there, you quite often will get dive bombs. So there you go, this is this week's daily races. What did you think of the choices? I love the GR4s, and I do love this track, so this is probably the one that I'm going to do the most. But all the three configurations are pretty good. Daily Race A is going to be a filler, and I'm not really a fan of that Mitsubishi. But yeah, so what was my lap time? 7:30, down to low 7s or even high 6s for those freak guys that are freakishly fast. Not calling them freaks as in people, but yeah, that's this week's daily races. I'm just going to do a screen grab of that. Use that as the thumbnail for this. There you go. So we got the Mitsubishi GTO Twin Turbo 91 around Le Mans, or the Circuit du Sarthe. I can't pronounce it properly, with no chicades, which is probably good because it'll be even longer. Looking about low 4s in qualifying, so about low to mid 4s there. GR3, so you're looking about low 130s, and Nürburgring, you're looking about the low 7s around there. I'll be happy around, if I remember right, last time I was doing qualifying there, I was doing about 7-minute 15s. Actually, one thing I wanted to check, we're going to get back in here, because I didn't check the tyres, did I? So I was on hard for that qualifying lap. I've got a feeling there's no choice in tyres. But let's just have a quick look. Preparing. Love the sound of that engine revving. So just choice of just hards. Okay, so just hards or wets. Anyone that uses the wet in the race will be pretty stupid. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this live feed. Catch you guys in a future video.